In the pledge, please.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, John. All right, next, public input.
We have one. Mr. Randy Rogers Gingrich would like to speak to school vouchers.
Him?
Yeah.
I thought I recognized that name.
I'm my green mom.
Yeah, you're.
Randy Rogers, Natives, Tennessee, 757 210 Road. Say what? Who won Ohio? We don't want to talk about that. I'm here and I'll make it pretty quick. They always say keep politics out of school, but politics wants to get into school. You guys are members of the Jefferson County School Board. You're here for Jefferson County Schools. I would like for you to put out a statement, an amendment, an opinion, however you ever want to word it, against this current voucher system that's being imposed in our state government. This is an attack on public education. I'm not going into great specifics. They can cover it and word it however they want, but they are attacking public education, and it's wrong. And I just wish the school board to reflect on that, and I would put out a statement saying that you're against what they're proposing. Thank you.
Next, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Nancy? Get him. Nancy did, yes. She seconded it. All righty. All those in favor of approving the agenda, raise your right hand, signifying a yes. And it is unanimous. And don't let me say 7, all right? There's somebody down here. I'll probably get that. Is there a motion to, whoa, wait a minute. Any corrections to the minutes? Nope. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move.
Doug made the motion. Is there a second?
That's it.
Second, Danny. Any discussion? I should have asked her the other time. I guess not. Anyway, I'll put the question. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, raise your right hand, signify yes. And 6-0. Next, we have the committee report. Mr. Jarnigan is the chairman of the policy committee. These policies that are listed here all have changes that are related, you help me out here, Tom, related to changing the law July 1st. Okay? So there's not much we can do about that. We've got to live with it. So I think Bill can make the motion, and if you all don't mind, we just vote on them all at once. Here, let's call out the numbers, okay?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve policy 1.105, policy 1.701, policy 2.400, policy 2.601, policy 4.603, and policy 6.309.
Okay. Any discussion or questions? Yes, sir.
I have a question on the Jefferson County Board of Education fundraising activities. One, on it has collections of funds through online payment. Was that a state mandated addition?
No, I don't think it was.
It's a comptroller, state comptroller. So in order to collect, you have to receipt and reconcile And, Jesse doesn't have a copy of this, but I had sent those to you and Joy, and, hold on,
Is it adding it to your policy?
yes,
Okay, it has to be in the policy in order to do it, is my understanding, is that what?
I gotta get to,
I guess my question was that's state
Well, it's
mandate.
kind of gray area, but yes, it has to be there.
um,
You know, there's nothing that we,
My concern is hacking. People, people are paying by credit card, we all know that hackers get credit card information and all of that. And if there's any additional safeguards that maybe on our end we could put in place to make sure that if we want people to do this, to make sure they feel comfortable doing it, so their personal information, their bank accounts, credit card numbers and things like that don't get hacked and
right.
sent off to God knows where.
I think the system that they're currently collecting funds through is through, the local bank that we have our bank account with. So I assume they would have those safety measures in place.
Could we ask, could man make sure?
I'd love that, sure, we do online banking with the county as well, so I guarantee they do, or we
Yeah,
wouldn't
we
bank
have
with
those
them.
in place. This has
Okay.
been going on since 2000, well, it's been going on a little bit in fundraising, but since COVID, we've been collecting for the past 3.5 years
Online?
online.
Okay,
Uh,
that's fine, we have
And-
experience with it then.
Yes, and it is minimal. There is a state law that deals, if you see that number 6 up there, it coordinates with a Tennessee Code of Annotated, and that requires certain things as far as collecting online payments with internal school fund manual with the state.
Thank you.
And the manual was just updated.
Yes,
So
and that's
I'm
what
assuming-
brought this on through the update.
that answers your question.
That's it.
Good. I was gonna have to make something up.
Do we need a second on Bill's thing? I'll make a second.
No, you don't have,
Okay.
they don't have to be, since it came out of committee, they don't have to
Okay.
make a, no second. Anybody else? Hearing none, I'll put the question. All those in favor of adopting the 6 policies that are listed on first reading, raise your right hand, signifying yes. And 6-0. We're on a roll. All right, next would be budget amendments. And budget amendment A, general purpose fund 141, amendment 9, items 1 through 7. Is there a motion?
So move.
A motion, who would second it?
I'll second.
Seconded by Doug. Any debate, discussion? Yes, sir.
Question on number 6, budget amendment 8. On here at the bottom, I understand the entries, says to use savings from insurance funds to purchase a greenhouse and make needed budget amendments. And then, in the topics, vocational instruction equipment, et cetera, it says other contracted services for $20,643. What other contracted services are we speaking about?
So that would be anything that we would spend money on for this innovative school model grant that to purchase the greenhouse, build the greenhouse. So
Are you referring to, I only see one that we're increasing other contracted services, $2,804. Is that the line? Cause that's all
The
I'm.
other contracted services for $20,643.
You're reducing
Yeah,
it $20,000?
right.
I don't mind speaking on behalf of that, but, Elijah, he'll put that together and then,
Missy's here also.
Missy would know. I'm assuming it goes with the, I asked what was the savings from the insurance. I thought that's where you were
No,
headed.
no,
Because
no.
that was my question when I
Yeah.
first saw this. We did have to budget family coverage when we started and applied for this grant.
Now, well, my question is the 20,643, is that towards contractors we've already contracted with, or just costs of contractors that will come in when we start doing this
When
stuff?
we amended this amendment in, we put in what we put in on the E-plan system. So, we are removing $20,000
Right.
from that line.
Okay,
So that's, I'm assuming, I did not apply for that grant, but I'm assuming whatever we applied for, either A, the cost didn't come in that high, or B, that portion we're not approaching.
that was my question.
That's my guess.
Yep, okay, thank you. Question answered.
Anybody else? Hearing none, put the question, and the motion is to approve General Purpose Fund 141 Amendment Number 9, items 1 through 7. All those in favor, raise your right hand and signify yes. And Bill, there you go. And 6-0. Unanimous. Under Budget Amendment B, Federal Fund 142, Amendment Number 5, item 1 through 3. Is there a motion?
Move that we approve. I move that we approve.
Okay, Doug moves. Is there a second? And a second from Nancy. Any questions or discussion? Any debate? Hearing none, I'll put the question. And the question is to approve federal fund 142, Amendment 5, items 1 through 3. All those in favor of the motion, raise your right hand to signify yes. And it is 6-0. All righty, new business. And the first item under new business is, I think, everybody has looked at the, you should have the document, has looked at it. But right now, in order to ask questions or discuss, there has to be a motion. So, with that said, is there a motion for the scope of work for Jefferson Elementary School renovation?
I move.
Doug? Is there a second? Second by Danny. Any debate, discussion, or question? Hearing none, I'll put the question. And the question is, a motion been made to approve the document listing the scope of work for Jefferson Elementary renovation. All those in favor of the motion, raise your right hand to signify yes. Six. Nancy, you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now then. Hold on a second. Okay. If you'll look, no, it's not even, number, on your business session agenda, number 2, that was the motion that was made at the last meeting, so you recognize it. Now, since then, well, gotta have a motion to discuss. All right, so I will take a stab at it. First thing we have to do, like before, we have to make an amendment. And if the amendment passes, then we vote on the main motion. So we've got to amend the main motion. We're going to vote on this thing twice. Okay, so here we go. I move to amend the main motion by deleting $8,394,000 and inserting $5,735, $336. And also adding this phrase, any additional funds returned to unassigned fund balance. Okay, so we changed the number, and then any additional money from that change then will return to unassigned fund balance. Everybody understand? Okay. Any debate or questions? Yes, sir.
Could you read how that amended motion will?
Gotta get a second, Coach.
Do one.
Gotta get a second.
Gotta get a second, okay.
I second his motion.
Oh, you did?
Go ahead now.
Okay, you got it? I made the motion, who seconded?
Could I get a reading of how the motion will be worded?
I'll read it to you right now.
Yeah.
I'll read it again. I move to amend the main motion by deleting $8,394,000 and inserting in its place $5,735,336. And then at the end of the, if you look at the motion that's on the number 2, at the end of it, the last word is group. After that word, we want to add any additional funds returned to unassigned fund balance. So by reducing that number, there's going to be some money that'll go back into fund balance. Does that make sense? Okay. Good question. It's bad when you got the motion written down, you can't pull it off. Any discussion, debate, or anything? Hearing none, I'll put the question, and the question is to amend the main motion by deleting $8,394,000 and inserting $5,735,336 with additional funds returned to unassigned fund balance. All those in favor of the amendment, raise your right hand by signifying yes. And 6-0. Now then, the main motion. I move to approve the amended energy project totaling $735,336 as presented by the profession group. Any additional funds returned to the unassigned fund balance. Now that's the main motion now, as it reads.
As amended.
See, we amended it. We basically amended 2 things, the number, and then added the phrase at the end.
I second the motion.
You second, okay? Motion's been made and seconded. Any debate, discussion, or questions? Hearing none, I'll put the question. I move to approve the amended energy project totaling $5,735,336 as presented by the profession group. Any additional funds returned to the unassigned fund balance. All in favor of this amended main motion, raise your right hand to signify yes. And the motion carries 6-0. Did I get any more close, Moose?
You own it. Get one more.
Number 3.
Coach, I have one question.
Huh?
Jesse, that would trigger, would that trigger an amendment to go to county commission?
So the original motion that's pending, $3.1 million
Yes.
from fund balance, we haven't even presented it to them yet. That was gonna go on Monday evenings. So we'll just change that.
Change the amount.
This
We
now.
change
right?
the amount now.
Right. So, I mean, the additional funds that are left over from that reduction has to go somewhere. I assumed it was in a unassigned fund balance.
Right, so our motion, or the amendment that will be presented on Monday, instead of, I think it was 3.1 million was
Yes.
the original from last month. we're gonna change that amount to the 2,446,949.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And then what was?
That difference
and
will
then-
increase your
right,
fund
and that
balance.
difference then will go, to the,
Fund balance.
I got it right, didn't I? It had to go somewhere.
We never put it anywhere,
It
so
couldn't
we're
go in
keeping,
anybody's pocket, so.
we're keeping
had
it
to
in
go
fund
there.
balance.
Fund balance, everything goes to fund balance. Now, number three.
Number three.
Number three. All right, what you see on your business session agenda at number three is the motion that was made on November the 2nd or 4th or something, right? And that is the main motion. Now, here's where I may get into a little sticky area. That was in the form of your budget amendments, Jennifer. My motion, have you got a copy of the agenda?
Been called worse.
Have you got a copy of the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Okay, number three was in the form of your budget amendments that you have, debit and credit. Debit means you take it away, credit, you put it here, right? That's-
For
I learned
expenditures,
that
it does.
in the class that I failed called something, whatever. But anyway, so I've tried to make the motion, the main motion, mimic you look at it and see, mimic your budget, the form that you had it in. Because you notice on there that $9 million is on there twice. The first one is the debit, right? And the second one is the credit. You're a bookkeeper, weren't you? Anyway, so, I'm gonna amend the main motion. So I move to amend Fund 141, Budget Amendment Number 8, deleting $9 million and inserting $10,500,000. Then, if you read on and keep up with me on the motion, after that it says for Jefferson Elementary. Right after that, I want to delete the two words new construction. Okay? Everybody keep it up. Inserting this phrase, and Talbot Elementary projects. So it will say Jefferson Elementary and Talbot Elementary projects. Then continuing on, deleting the credit $9 million and inserting $10.5 million. Right? So there's a credit, I got both the credit, the debit and the credit in there. That's why it's in there twice and changing those. So let me, so what we're doing is we are deleting the first 9 million, inserting 10,500,000. We're deleting the phrase new construction and replacing it with and Talbot Elementary projects. And we're deleting the $9 million and inserting $10,500,000. That's the amendment. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you.
Cause the next item I got you.
Okay. Any debate, discussion, or questions? I was afraid of that.
I just want to make sure. what I'm-
I understand it.
I understand the 9 million was voted in last month.
Do what?
The 9 million was voted in last month.
Right, but it never made it to county commission. Right?
Not yet.
So we're taking it back out, and now it's on the table to put in 10.5.
10.5.
Okay, but the 10.5 is renovations at Talbot and.
The money goes into a pot. We gotta finish all this.
Yes.
So the money goes into a pot for, like I took out new construction. So the 10.5 million is for Jefferson Elementary and Talbot Elementary projects.
Projects.
Right.
Okay, okay.
So then we.
So that could be
Right,
renovation.
then we can move the money, then if it's all in one pot, then we can move the money around
Okay,
where we need it.
okay. Answer.
Does that make
Yes,
sense?
sir.
Okay. Where'd I get? You seconded it. You got a
I
question?
got a question. When you say move it around, if in fact we need it in our fund balance, it can be moved back into the fund balance or
Well,
put
it
a
was-
portion of that back into the
That
fund
question
balance?
last, it's going to the, well, number 4 on there, to solve a little bit. But if the money goes into that reserve account, we still have access to it through a motion.
Yes.
And a budget amendment.
Right.
Right, so if this goes to county commission as a budget amendment and they approve it, then if we decide we want to take some of that 10.5, then we have to make a motion, and then it's a budget amendment, and it goes back to county commission.
I understand that, just like we do anytime we move money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the question is, now that we're talking about 10.5 rather than 9, how much does that leave in our fund balance if we approve it?
It leaves
Good question, I think she said, well,
a little shy, you're a little shy of 1.2 million, you're 1,174,000.
That's what we still have in the fund balance?
It's what you would after these motions.
Yeah, that's what I-
After reducing that project, and not asking the county for the 2 million, and then increasing this 1.5 million. That would be your unassigned available fund balance.
Okay,
You would still have 1.1 million.
okay. I'm a little hesitant to keep our fund balance that low. I understand, to me, it seems if we can move that at any time to if we voted in, the Jefferson Elementary Talbot project account, then why would, I don't understand why we do that now and deplete our fund balance.
I can give you this explanation. Bill and Moose and I have gone through construction and all this. You have to have money in place. It don't make sense. You have to have money in place if you're going to start a construction project.
Understood.
And then you go to the bid process, and then you get a guaranteed maximum price.
Yeah.
But you can't start the project till you have some estimated amount of money in place that project is gonna cost. That's what we're working toward tonight, is getting that estimated amount. And it may or may not, because I know in the case of, which direction Patriot Academy that way, I know to make it fit, the guaranteed maximum price, we had to eliminate a parking lot and a dressing room, and I think maybe a CTE classroom to fit within that number, say. Because we gave an estimated amount of dollars. So until you start the project, you get bids, that's the thing. Until you get the bids, the guaranteed maximum price, you don't really, you try to get as close as you can to the cost of the project.
No, I understand that.
Okay.
But we have already made a budget amendment, put 9 million in, all right? That 9 million, as you know, I didn't vote for that because I didn't, it's a profit, but that's neither here nor there. I don't want to put, myself, I don't want to put another 1.5 million in there and deplete our fund balance down to less than, $2 million. So that's my concern.
I understand. When I started out on the board, we would have felt lucky to have had $1 million. We'd have jumped up around this table and run around this table and partied. I understand.
I do agree with renaming it,
Right, all that. I understand. I mean, that's
my
your,
concern is
that's your
transferring
personal
that money.
opinion.
Yeah.
And that's okay, yes, sir.
What I had, you just touched bases. I remember when we started, we lucky had that much in fund balance.
Yeah.
But we was looking, where we gonna get that. We got a hefty fund balance now, the Stokely County Commission, we are doing something. So on my next item, the next one, I have something I'm gonna talk about.
Okay, yes, sir.
Can I ask one more question? We was gonna ask the county commissioners for $2 million, correct?
We're gonna want,
We was gonna ask the county commissioners for $2
No.
million.
we won't, no, we won't want to ask them as such. They offered it to us, correct?
Yeah,
Right.
we asked for 6.
And I want to thank you for doing that.
And
In
they
the
said,
in the budget committee, $2 million was offered to us.
Can we still not take that?
Not necessarily, then it would have to go back to them in the form of a budget amendment. And like you said earlier, we're trying to fund these projects
Ourselves?
with our money
Yes.
as much as we can.
Can I take their $2 million?
So there's $2 million, we didn't,
It was all.
unless he's got a checkbook on him tonight, I don't.
The
Yeah.
2 million, when I presented to the budget committee and county commission, was when we were, presenting the 11.8 project.
Yes.
They offered the 2 million.
Right.
So, when we reduced the project last month,
$8 million.
still not really sure if the 2 million was still on the table, and now we've reduced it even more
Right,
to the 5 million.
Okay.
So, that would be something I would have to ask them on Monday evening if you all still wanted them to consider. And they were going to have to do an interfund loan for that payment.
Okay. So right now, we're trying to do everything just
Just us.
us.
that would be my recommendation there again.
so right now, we're with this, we're funding this project as much as we can. The lighting and then the 385 schools are where we are. And then if that budget amendment gets there by Monday and is approved, then finally, the perfection group can go to work. And they've been waiting on us, and we've been dragging their feet. I have talked so long, is there any more questions, or?
My last question, I'll be done. I probably went over my limit.
That's okay. Ask questions on that.
So if we approve the 10.5 million to go into the renamed fund, or into the renamed project, if something was to happen, and I'm just gonna say, at Rush Strong, we needed $20 million or whatever, we can pull 20 million out of that
We don't have 20 million.
with the amendment and this and that.
So if you had a catastrophic event,
Yes.
that, such as whenever, at that time it was named Building Aid collapsed, and funds had to be put in, or, you know, you had something that required, I'm sure that would be understood and no problem, as long as we were not committed already into a building project,
Yes,
you know.
okay.
And then, you know, you're looking at start to finish over 3 years. So hopefully we'll see, as we've raised the fund balance over the last 6 years, we hope to continue that process some.
Anybody else? You can ask what you want to, as long as he knows the answer. So I think I know where I am. So you got the amendments to the main motion, and it was seconded, right? Okay, so what's left is we need to vote on it. So I put the question to approve the amended energy project totaling, to approve, to amend the main motion by deleting $8,394,000 and inserting $5,735,000.
We did that.
I think we've already done that.
We didn't vote on that though.
I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
Did we vote on it?
We on the
Yeah.
next one.
Yeah.
Well, now,
We amended-
Well, okay, the question threw me off.
Yeah.
All right, so we haven't approved it. Next, then the motion is, let's see, no, down here. I was on the wrong amendment. So this amendment is the one that's been seconded. We were asking questions about, y'all were asking about the 9 and the 10.5. I saw the wrong amendment. That's why there's 7 people on this board. It takes all of us.
You'll be all right.
Well, I'm glad the discussion, I like the discussion, don't get me wrong, and I'll talk all night. Okay, so what we have is, a motion to amend Fund 141, amendment number 8 by deleting 9 million and inserting 10.5, deleting the phrase new construction and adding in its place, in Talbot Elementary project, deleting 9 million and inserting 10.5 million. All in favor of this, amendment to the main motion, raise your right hand indicating yes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all those opposed? 1.
Mr. Chairman.
Hold on a minute. Okay, I still gotta make one more motion. All right, did I get, hold on a minute.
We don't know.
Now then, we've got to, go back and approve the main motion with the amendments in it. You with me? All right, so I move to approve Fund 141, budget amendment number 8, allocating funds from unassigned fund balance, $10.5 million for Jefferson and Talbot Elementary project totaling $10.5 million. That's the amended main motion.
I say.
I'm in the right place,
You
Ron.
are, right,
Thank you, ma'am.
yeah.
We got a second? We have any debate, discussion? Hearing none, I'll put the question. And the question is to approve Fund 141, the budget amendment number 8, allocating funds from unassigned fund balance, $10.5 million for Jefferson and Talbot Elementary projects totaling $10.5 million. All those in favor of that motion, raise your right hand signifying yes. And we've got 5, and all those opposed, 1. Motion carries 5-1.
Chairman.
Now, wait a minute, no,
Okay.
we've got to do number 4.
Yeah, we got. Do
We've
number
got 4
4.
more,
Yeah, we got to do number 4.
okay? All right,
Chairman.
number 4, is there a motion concerning the million reserve account?
Yes, I got one, Mr. Chairman.
That's full.
I would move to rename the $1 million reserve account to Jefferson and Talbot Elementary project and add $500,000 from assigned fund balance for a total of $11,500,000. I'll put that in a motion if you want my motion to add it.
Yeah, I'll need to give that to Ronnie. Is there a second? I'll second it. I can read it again. That's why he gave it to me. So the motion is, to rename, on your paper, you got 1 million reserve account. To rename the 1 million reserve account to Jefferson and Talbot Elementary projects and add 10.5 million from assigned fund balance for a total of 11.5 million. So there's already $1 million in there. So now we've got 11.5 million in a reserve account that will be, okay.
Because,
And that will have a different name now. It will be Jefferson and Talbot Elementary projects and $11.5 million in that project, in that reserve account.
yeah.
Okay? Let me hold on just a second.
One second.
I'll let repeat again, I'll be through. All right, any discussion, debate, or
Well,
questions?
I have, since I made a motion. But reason why, go ahead.
You gonna make a motion?
No, I'm gonna make
Since
it.
he made the motion, he had something to say.
Yes, you made the motion, he gets the first, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
my fault.
Reason why I look at this and sit around and think, Jeff Elementary ain't had nothing done. Talbot needs something. Everybody else is getting things we have done over these years. Y'all know what I'm talking about, Bill, and y'all mentioned it, Tommy mentioned it. I'm looking at Jeff Elementary. We sat here twiddling our thumbs for years and years and years on that school. We need to start doing something about it. Anything that we can show the county commission what we are trying to do with our fund balance and all this money we're trying to put in to save our tax dollars, people, and save them from, hearing people fuss. I'm just trying to do what's best for the county and the school system. And that's what I'm looking out for. And if something comes up big, we always can get help, because I think everybody here is for the kids and the staff, and I know that. But we gotta do something. We sat here throwing our thumbs the last 2 or 3 years. It's time to step up and do something to Jefferson Elementary. If it's getting fixed, doing something to help them, let's do it. I'm tired of hearing all about it. Let's get something going to show the community where they doing something with that school. Still bickering back and forth about it. Let's get to work and do stuff we got the money to do it with. And that's what I gotta say. I think it's a great thing. That's me.
And you, okay.
I totally agree. I want to get something done, but I don't want to leave ourselves, waving in the wind if we're going to need money. So I would move to split the motion. I'd like to make it 2 separate motions. One, to speak to the funding, a separate motion to speak to renaming the account.
Can't do that. The motion's on the floor, we gotta act on this motion.
Then I would
You
like,
can amend it, is all you can do. You can't start making another motion on top of this one.
okay. Then I would like to amend the motion on the floor to, could you read it again, please?
I move to rename the $1 million reserve account to Jefferson and Talbot Elementary projects and add $10.5 million from unassigned fund balance for a total of $11.5 million.
Okay, what I would like to do is I would like to amend that.
Has the 10.5 already occurred? Did that occur already?
Yes.
We already have a budget amendment. That's just, I think, showing that
Yeah.
that would go into it.
So the 10.5's already
It's
occurred.
not really part of
So
it.
that's just kind of restating what's happened.
Yeah, it's already, so now then, it was put in to the reserve account or unassigned fund balance. And now we're just taking it, in this motion, you're taking it out of there and put it in the reserve account, correct? That's what we're doing.
I think we're just renaming the $1 million reserve.
Right.
But we have to add the 10.5 to it.
No, that's
We've
been
already made that
added.
motion.
That was added here. On a 5-1 vote, it was added to move this.
It was moved to unassigned fund balance. Now, this motion is taking it out of unassigned fund balance and put it into the reserve account.
Well, it was labeled for Jefferson and Talbot Elementary projects totaling 10.5.
Then you need to reword your motion.
So, let's stop for just a second. So, Rhonda, can you read back the last, what I have is, I move to approve Fund 141, Budget Amendment Number 8, allocating funds from unassigned fund balance, $10.5 million for Jefferson and Talbot Elementary projects totaling $10.5 million. So, my understanding is that placed that $10.5 million in a reserve account labeled Jefferson and Talbot Elementary project.
Correct.
Excuse me.
So that places $10.5 million in that reserve account for that purpose.
Correct. We had a $9 million amendment that's pending. That was approved last month. Basically, we added $1.5 million to it, and we've reworded to what it's designated for. And that was approved.
And then the current motion is he moves to rename the $1 million reserve account to Jefferson Elementary and Talbot Elementary projects. And then basically he just reiterates that this would move the total amount to $11.5 million to that fund balance.
Right.
Okay. So basically, he's renaming the 1 million to,
That's what this motion
Yeah,
is,
that's
just to
right.
rename the
We
current
name-
1 million.
To get some more money for the,
Mr. Chairman, I think I still have the floor.
So what you're saying is the, 1 million reserve account has been renamed, your motion, renamed the Jefferson and Talbot Elementary projects, and now has a balance of $11.5 million in it. Correct?
Sure.
That's all the motion needs. So,
Mr. Chairman,
it has been seconded.
I think I still have the floor.
To what, sir?
I think I still have the floor. I was speaking when the discussion started.
Have at it.
Okay, thanks. So, I, as you know, I disagree with moving the 1 million fund, but I do agree with renaming it. So if all this motion does is rename the account, change it from new construction to Jefferson Elementary Talbot project, I agree with it. But the reason I wanted to split the motion is I do not agree with the $11 million part, but that's already been voted on. I do agree with renaming the project. So if that's all this motion in fact does is rename the account, then I have no problem with it.
But it will have 11 million.
Oh, I understand, but that's already been voted on. That was already approved.
So it's in that account.
Yes. But that's already been approved.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So what do you want to make two motions for?
I'm rescinding that. I'm not now because, I misunderstood what the motion was
Okay.
all about.
But to make everybody comfortable, you've got to remember we have a motion to build a new elementary school. This is not changing that.
I understand that.
Got it. So, I guess, probably, you can help me out here, we probably need to amend, out of this motion, the 10.5 million.
well, I'm just putting that in.
So I understand. I agree with you. I mean, you're putting 10.5 million with a million that's already there.
Yeah.
Because that's 11.5.
Mhm.
Okay, so I would like to offer an amendment. That amendment, I move to amend by deleting $10.5 million from, the phrase that says from unassigned fund balance.
I second.
Okay, we got a second. Any discussion or questions or
I
anything?
think that was confused.
so read that as amended.
Yeah.
How would that read? Read it as amended.
Okay, so we're amending the main motion by deleting $10.5 million from unassigned fund balance. So we have to vote on that first, and if it passes, then the main motion would read, I move to rename the 1 million reserve account to Jefferson and Talbot Elementary projects for a total of $11,500,000. That's how the main motion would read after we pass this amendment.
I'm totally confused.
I know you are, but you have to amend the motion, sir.
I understand, but I
Right,
thought we already.
and so I have made an amendment to the main motion by deleting $10,500,000 from this main motion. And I think you seconded it, correct? So now we can discuss it.
I just putting that in there. That, I know I'm doing part of something, I just put that in there because I want to see it. So,
It's not a problem. So what we do next, when discussion is through, then I'll put the question, which would be the amendment to remove $10,500,000 from unassigned fund balance. That would be the amendment. If it passes, then we'll go back and vote on the main motion without that in it.
I got you, I understand what
I
you're
thought we already voted, excuse me, I'm don't mean to that term. I thought we already voted to transfer. the
He made this
10.5.
motion,
No, before. he
I
voted.
seconded it. And now we are amending out of that main motion 10.5.
Cause we done have made that motion. We had done made it in previous.
We have made an amendment and you seconded it. So right now,
But prior to this motion, I thought we already agreed and voted to move the $10.5 million.
Right,
Did we not?
yes, so,
that's why we're amending this motion.
right, because in his motion, it reads, I move to rename the $1 million reserve account to Jefferson and Talbot Elementary projects and add 10.5 from unassigned fund balance. So that's already been done.
Right.
So he doesn't need to put that in there again because it seems like we're gonna add another 10.5.
Okay,
So they are amending that out and just, if approved, then the motion would basically just say, he moves to rename the 1 million reserve account to Jefferson and Talbot Elementary projects.
And wouldn't have the 10.5 million involved in it?
That's already
It's
done.
already there.
It's already in there.
Yeah, it was done in the last
I was
motion.
doing that 1 million.
that was my clarification.
They in order.
So basically, by amending this, you're taking the, verbiage out to just rename the $1 million reserve.
Okay, all right.
All right, everybody understand the amendment?
Yes.
The amendment is, any more questions? I'll put the question, and the question is to amend the main motion by deleting, and I'm gonna read the entire phrase, it's gonna be wrong. By deleting and add 10.5 million from unassigned fund balance. That's being deleted from this main motion. Okay? Everybody understand? All those in favor of the amendment, please raise your right hand signifying a positive attitude. All those who oppose, you don't vote. Okay. Now then, we go back to the amended main motion, and the amended main motion is, I move to rename the 1 million reserve account to Jefferson and Talbot Elementary for a total of $11.5 million.
That's my motion.
You,
And you said it.
okay? And so the motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion or question?
Sorry if I confused everybody, but I was just adding the 10,000. I just want to say that, you know, 10.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand.
But
not-
it's there.
It's not a problem, it's scary. We renamed it, and it's got $11.5 million in it, is what it amounts to. Everybody with me? That's what this motion is saying. It's now has a different name, and it has money in there, and anybody questions or whatever?
I call for the question.
Okay? All those, put the question. All those in favor of the motion to rename the 1 million reserve account to Jefferson and Talbot Elementary projects for a total of $11.5 million, raise your right hand, signifying yes. All those opposed? 6 to 1. Doug voted no. 5 to 1. I told you to learn that you can't. So the motion carries. And we're down to $11.5 million in the reserve account. It's official now. We have gathered all this money together. No, we're done. I can't say anything now because we moved on. All right, next on the agenda, number 5, funding for Jefferson Elementary and Talbot Elementary projects.
May I pass out something?
Yeah.
tell you my feelings about the situation. We've
Yeah,
got-
you gotta make a motion first before you, so what is it? This is a copy of your motion, right?
Mr. Chairman, I move to allocate $11.5 million from the reserve amount Jefferson and Talbot School project, requesting additional $18 million in funding from Jefferson County Commission for an estimated total of $29.5 million for Jefferson and Talbot Elementary School project, with the JCBOE to determine the scope of work and allocation of funding.
Motion's been made, is there a second? Got a second from Nancy. And did everybody get a copy of the motion, right? That's what you're in. Did you get a copy?
I did.
Did y'all get a copy? All right, Bill, you're first.
This is the
You made
same
a
motion that has been made, but it's only asking for the Jefferson County Commissioners to give us a total of $18 million to complete our project.
Anybody else?
Question. Yeah. I mean, this is off the wall. We have 11.5 million.
Yes, sir.
And you're saying ask for 18 million
Yes, sir.
to complete.
The Jefferson Elementary School and Talbot project.
How do we know what it will cost us on that?
We don't know what it will cost.
See, it said, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I butted in.
I mean, that was my concern is, we don't know what the Talbot project is gonna cost.
Can I speak?
Yes.
Okay, remember what I told you earlier? And what it says in his motion, it says estimated $29.5 million. And before, these two right here know, we started projects with an estimated number. You don't know.
Right.
But what you get into is in the bid process and the guaranteed maximum prize. Now, you got that guaranteed maximum prize, and, you know, if it's less than 29.5, you're in good shape. If it's more than that, you've got a problem. The first thing that you start doing, and that's why the end of this motion, allocation of funding and scope of work. So what we've done in the past, you have to go into your project and start cutting things out. And I used the example of Patriot Academy. We cut out a parking lot, we cut out a dressing room, and we cut out a CTE classroom to come in under budget. You see, because the estimate went over, or the guaranteed maximum price was over the estimate. It's like throwing darts in a dartboard, but you try to get close as you can. I would like to point out while I'm talking, the 18 million, the first time we sent this project, just the school, the new school, to the county commission, I believe you and I, this is what started all this last meeting. You made a good point that Jefferson Elementary School had been on the books for a long time. It's time to do something. And that's what brought me into this. And so the first was $19,950,000 for a brand new school built on the fairground property. It was not funded, and so we stepped back, and I believe it was in June of last year, June of 2022, Mr. Jernigan made a motion, and 19.6 and a $7 million from our fund balance for a total of 26.6. And we sent that to county commission, and it was funded. That was for a new school. So now we're coming with a smaller number. If you do the math between the 11.5 and the 18, that's about a 60-40 split. Who's got a calculator, knows how to use it? It's close to, their 18 is like about 60% of the project, and our 11.5 is about almost 40% of the project. Correct?
I can tell you exactly.
Now, I'm just guessing.
It's
Right.
29.5, their 18 is 61% of the project.
Right. So I was close. And ours
Very
is what?
close.
39?
I would assume it's 39,
Right.
yeah.
61 from 100 is 39, yes, okay. Yes, okay, so you made the motion, you finished? Okay, I'm done.
Second?
She seconded.
So what I'm hearing is we all agree that we want to start something, we want to do something. We're not all in agreement with the 11.5 or moving money. I've said it before sitting here. You think I'm tight with my money at home, I'm tighter with taxpayers' money. But even at 11.5, we still don't have enough to do any of these projects. We gotta get money someplace, am I correct?
That's the reason I'm asking for it. to get
Yeah,
more county.
and I understand what you're asking, why this number. It would be asking county commission to contribute something, correct?
We sure can't afford it.
No, and we're not getting anything done, we all agree we need to do something, we gotta start someplace, we can number, whether it's renovate, or it makes more sense in my mind to build a new school. Drive out at that part of the county, they're building like crazy. You know, they're living in Jeff County and they're working in Hamlin, and where are their kids, they're in our schools. That's the fact. And drive around, they're building other schools in other counties, it goes up like that. But we gotta find money someplace, start someplace, my opinion.
Yes, sir.
And so I disagree with moving the 11.5, but by asking the county commission for, what is it?
18 million.
All right, we don't know if and when we get estimates on the renovation of Jefferson Elementary, what that's going to be. And we don't know what the estimates on building the Tavern additions would be. So what we're asking is the county commission to take definite action on projects that we really, other than the new school, don't have any kind of estimates on. I would think that we should actually wait until we have estimates on building the additional classrooms at Talbot, and have estimates on what going in with the scope of work that we just approved for Jefferson Elementary. I would think we'd wait till we had those estimates to go to the county commission and say, these are the estimates that we have, this is the way we want to go, either the renovation or stick with the new school, and then ask them for the money. Because right now, we're going to them with a lot of uncertainties, asking them to make a certain pledge of money when we don't have definite numbers to take.
If I may speak, we do, you notice it says estimate. That number was not, 29.5 was not pulled out of the air. We've had people who have contributed to that number, the director of schools, our maintenance person, and I think, did you not talk to our architects or construction managers?
Right, I did produce a document last month that talked about, square footage of a renovation in Knoxville, square footage cost of a new school in Hamlin County, looking at that square footage cost, and applied it towards a 2 or 4 classroom addition at Talbot and a cost of Jefferson Elementary. There again, you have to work with them somewhere. I mean, you know, it would be great to have more money to do these projects. I think Jefferson Elementary would require some cuts, just like what we saw at Piedmont Elementary. You know, we set a amount that we wanted to spend of 10 million, and it came in 12 million, and we had to make some cuts on a brand new gym. Demo and a brand new gym was initially talked about. We had to cut it down to renovation of the current gym and cut back some additions. You know, in setting in on facilities, I know that on the county side, the new clerk's office, election building, they had to make some cuts there, came in over budget. So, you know, once you get that amount, you work within there to get these projects done. So we would work within this amount to get these projects completed.
Okay, I've spoken twice, so I'm out of the game. You've spoken twice too, haven't you? Or just once?
I spoke once on this,
Okay.
but Bruce has it.
I believe Bill asked.
That's okay, I'm through.
Okay, right here then.
I'm looking at this and I know we've been to county commission, they turn us down. And they got other things they gotta do in this county. Everybody's come to them for this and that. I understand. I'm gonna thank the twos here. If there's any more county commissioners here, thank y'all for coming. I know we got 2 here. And that 11.5, I think we're trying to do something. The 18 million, I really like to see what the county commissioner says on that, because see, if they don't give us that, is that 11 million five is gonna be sitting there, or we gonna go on forward with that? If they don't give us the 18, say we prove this tonight, this motion, and county commissioner don't fund that 18 million, we come back to, we wanna spend 11.5 million, or what we doing? See what I'm saying? We if we don't get the 18 million, and to me, I can't see it, but you know, we gotta try something. That's my opinion. If they don't give it to us, we do what we got, 11.5 million, and do the best we can for our school. Because they got other people in the county they gotta take care of. They, you know, I'm just saying. Because everybody wants money, I like that money too, but I'm just saying, we need to look at that. I think if we go with this and they don't go Monday night with this, do we have to come back and start again to do this 11.5 million? Can we get stuff going? Can we start moving?
Well, I'm either quick. Well, I can't.
Well, I give you a question to speak. If I have to, you take one of mine. Can I have you one of my questions?
Yeah, ask me a question.
Well, I asked you.
He asked you a question about 11.5. So if it doesn't get
We
approved.
discussed this. You can go in there and take that money out of that account through a motion. It's in the budget amendment to the county commission, and use that money for other things.
That
Right.
11.5.
Right, that 11.5. It's not locked in. So we can access it and use it for other things if county commission does not fund the 18 million. It is available to us. Thank you for asking that question. Or did you?
We visited the Talbot School last summer, and I think took 1 or 2 of the commissioners who are here from our county. A remark was made by our county commissioner, which is here present, we're gonna have to do something at the top. I said, yes. We've had 2 commissioners that called me and said, you're gonna have to do something at the top. We've done everything that we can do as far as trying to do, and I don't know what else to do. I mean, it's just the bottom line.
I got one more.
No, no, he had it, I heard him first.
Okay, I absolutely
Said you can ask
agree
your question.
we have to do have to do something with Talbot. I 100% agree with that. However, it seems very suspicious to me that the amount of money we're asking from the county commissioner combined with the amount of money that we're putting in to what is now the Jefferson Elementary Talbot project comes very, very close to what it would cost to build a new school. I'm wondering where that came from. I want to give as much opportunity to get estimates on renovating Jefferson Elementary and give equal weight to that option. And it just seems very strange that what we're asking for from the county commission and what we're putting into the elementary Talbot project equals almost exactly what it's going to cost to build a new school. That's very suspicious to me. I want to give equal weight to the renovation, to wait and see what that, if we get people who are willing to give us estimates, free estimates on that. Wait to see what that number is. Then I think once we decide, okay, that is out, or we're not interested in that, then we know which way we're going to go forward on. Right now, we don't know if we're going to go forward on the new school or if we're going to go forward on the Jefferson Elementary renovation. I think that question should be cleared up first, and the only way that question is going to be cleared up is if we get estimates on the Jefferson Elementary renovation plus numbers in on Talbot. I don't know how we can move forward with, saying we want to do this or this if we know exactly what this is going to cost, but we don't know what this is going to cost.
Yes, sir.
I got a question. We
Okay.
zone.
Zoning, like I said, is one of the, how many
Yeah.
bad words did I say? 3 or 4?
Bad word.
But you brought it up. You made a good point, I don't know how long ago. At some point in time, we're gonna have to rezone. So if we rezone, where we gonna move those kids to? There's no classrooms there. We're gonna need classrooms at Talbot and probably, and particularly, I think the stress is in the area of Mount Horeb. So, to move kids around, you've gotta have empty classrooms, and we don't have those right now. And I'm hearing, wait. We've been waiting too long, and here we are, we're still waiting. We've gotta do something. Now, if this motion passes, goes to the county commission, they decide, comes back, then we take another route if they don't approve it. But there is a motion to build a new elementary school. There's not a motion to renovate. But classrooms are very important. And the last blueprints that we sent for the 26-6 for a new Jefferson Elementary School had 4 new classrooms added to it. And we're needing 2 to 4 at Talbot. Now we can start rezoning and move kids around and lighten up the roads where they need to be. We've got some space if we go that route. So, did that answer your question
Yes,
about
sir.
zoning? You understand?
Yeah. I know
I
I
mean,
said
it's a good idea. We're gonna have to do it if we got the place to put it.
So,
This is your second time.
yeah, isn't, if we're only at 11.5, what's the next step? Like, we need more money to do what we wanna do. Wouldn't we go to county commission? Not to look at you two, but, yeah.
Don't make eye
No,
contact.
I'm trying not to.
Thank you for being here, guys.
Isn't that the next step? Is that how it happened with others, when you
Yeah.
did other
Yeah.
projects? You come up with what, we've gone there with schematic design and all this, and county commission said no. So, I guess maybe we're just trying to come at them again with something, to get something moving, because we don't have enough money to do what we have to do. This is the next step. Correct. So, if you're uncomfortable with the number, I mean, this is what we have to do, right? It doesn't.
That's how it works, yes.
And what if county commission says no, or they say 10 million? Is that like getting the horse in front of the cart, or then, like, we can't borrow money, can we borrow money? Is that-
No.
So, I feel like start someplace, and maybe they'll offer us more. Now I'm making eye contact. I don't know, I understand what you're saying. Sitting here this long and nothing being done, it's throwing at something at it a different way.
Any more discussion, questions, debate? Hearing none, I put the question. And the question is, let's make sure I got the right one. The question is to allocate $11.5 million from the reserve account Jefferson and Talbot school projects, request an additional $18 million in funding from Jefferson County Commission for an estimated total of $29,500,000 for the Jefferson and Talbot Elementary School projects, with the Jefferson County Board of Education to determine the scope of work and the allocation of funding. All those in favor of this motion, raise your right hand, signifying a yes vote. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 yes votes. All those opposed, raise your right hand, signifying I'm not voting. Giving you the directions.
Motion.
And 2 no votes, and the motion carries. Now then, next on the agenda is resolution number 23-121, maintenance surplus. Find that one. Is there a motion?
I so move.
Motion been made, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Danny. Any discussion or questions or debate concerning this resolution? Hearing none, I'll put the question. Let's see. All those in favor of approving resolution number 2023-121 maintenance surplus, raise your right hand, signifying yes. And it is 7-0. And the motion carries. 6. I'm having a nap today. All right, next, item number 7. Which one is that?
That's the local education compliance report, so that's already been submitted. It had a November 30th deadline. I'm just bringing it to the board for your approval. Part of the requirement is, so it wasn't on the radar until the day of our meeting, and it came out from TDOE, and then we had to submit it, but part of it is that we have to put a date in there of board approval, and we're putting today's date if you approve that.
I move to approve 2023 Local Education Agency Compliance Report. Is there a second?
Second.
Bill, second.
No, Doug.
Thank you. Any discussion, debate, or questions? Hearing none, I with the question, and that is to approve 2023 Local Education Agency Compliance Report. All those in favor of this motion, raise your right hand signifying a yes vote. Thank you, let's get rid of 6. Unanimous vote. I'm gonna start doing that. That could be any number, but boy, I had it there, it got lost in place. Next, guide. Is there a motion to approve the 2024-25 Jefferson County High School Curriculum Guide? Is there a motion? So moved by Danny. Second? Second by Nancy. Any discussion, debate, or questions? Hearing none, put the question. All those in favor of the motion to approve the 2024-2025 Jefferson County High School Curriculum Guide, raise your right hand, signifying a yes vote, and the vote is 6-0, and the motion carries. Now you won't have to have one.
Coach, we don't have anything for 9. I put it on there in hopes that we would, you know, but with stuff coming in, it being as big as it is, wish to push that to, I'll put that back on the agenda in January, with more details and recommendations.
Right, so we'll just move on past that for lack of information. All righty. Next is school commissioner input. This is the time to say something. Anybody? That's the floor. Danny, I saw you first.
He had spoke earlier about the vouchers. Is that something we may want to put?
We need to recommend it.
Yes.
We need resolutions.
We need a resolution.
Me
Is that what
too.
we need?
We need a resolution on vouchers, and I think that's what he was saying, we need a resolution on federal dollars. I mean, that's the two issues
We
that
need to
we're
put that on next month's.
Could we ask that that be, prepared, for our next meeting, or?
Well, you know, we would
Would that
have
be in
to,
order,
we have to
Dr.
ask
Arnold?
the director, because the person who would do that would work
Would
with
that be in order to ask that you have a resolution for our next meeting and have it signed by our school board?
I'll have some recommendations for you all to approve, look at.
Thank you.
I'll do that.
We'll probably send those out to our state representatives, our state senator, and to the governor. I think those would be the four that we need.
I'll send those to you.
If there's anybody else, we can make another
Are you
copy
fine just putting that in the packet, for approval?
for a vote, yes. Anybody else?
Yeah, I got it. Go ahead. Wait, no, go ahead.
I just want to, we talked about a lot of things when it came to Jefferson Elementary Tower. What of those motions and votes are going to be on the special meeting coming up on the 11th, and which of them will be on the agenda in January for the regular county commission meeting?
So the ones that you amended from the 9 million to 10.5 million, that will be on there for
That will be
Monday.
on there.
Yes, and the one from the 3.1 million to 2.4 for the energy project, that will be on there. As well as the 1 million reserves, we're just gonna create a new reserves instead of trying to explain that we're changing verbiage. So it'll show 1 million moving from one reserve to another.
Will the request for $18 million be
No,
on
sir,
there?
it was not advertised.
Okay, so
For
that will
special
be
call.
in January.
That will be January's quarterly, but, and that you all may change before then, I'm not sure. I don't know when your January meeting is. Is
It's
it
late. It's later.
So it comes after the budget committee
Yeah.
meeting on the 8th then? Okay. So, we'll see what they say on Monday evening, and then, we can report back to you all.
Okay.
You done?
I am.
The only thing I gotta say is, Mr. Waters, I want you to commend you on the band and the football players. They was over the parade the other day at Newmarket. All of them, I was gonna say this.
Even in
They was the nicest kids. They come up and thank them ladies for feeding them, cause we fed them and everything. I just wanna let you know that. We meant to tell you that they were very, very respectful. And I had all them ladies that was there was telling me, you wouldn't believe how them kids came through the line and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, that's mean the school is doing something towards something we need to do. And also, I got to say, thank the two commissioners that come tonight. I know y'all got a hard job to do, and thank y'all for coming tonight, sitting in. We just want to thank them. And Merry Christmas to everybody.
And those boys have good mamas then.
Huh?
Those football players must have some good mamas.
Next on the agenda is other, there's nothing listed under that heading. The last thing is there a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Hey, Steve.
Here a second.
Second.
All in favor, say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.